All right, hey, we are back once again. Hello, VC. Hope everybody in Canada had a great Thanksgiving Day long weekend. I know for me, I had a great long weekend. My son visiting from Michigan with his girlfriend, and unfortunately, which was great. We had a nice long weekend. Unfortunately, my daughters, based in Montreal, weren't able to join us for the long weekend. But I had a text from one of my daughters. Instead of turkey, they had sushi for Thanksgiving. Sushi for Thanksgiving. And apparently it wasn't even very good sushi, but well, there you have it. So again, wherever you were throughout this great country, Canada, hopefully you had a great Thanksgiving Day long weekend. Okay, Steve Carlson on his last YouTube video talked about a Guess Who live album. So I thought I'd feature live albums for this edition, but start off by talking about that album. This was a double album that he had that was recorded in 1983 called The Best of the Guess Who Live. I have a single vinyl version of it, but it was also, yes, released as a double album, but different packaging for Canada and the United States. So the single album was called The Guess Who Together Again, and this was featuring the classic lineup with Burton Cummings, Randy Bachman there, and this was recorded in 1983 at the CNE Bandshell in Toronto, June 29th, 1983, and I was actually at that concert, had a great time, the weather was absolutely just perfect. The album, though not a great representation of the concert, they also include two studio tracks, What's Gonna Happen to the Kids and Come On and Dance, and the studio tracks are not the best. Overall, you got American Woman, No Sugar Tonight, New Mother Nature, Undone, These Eyes, No Time. Overall, not a bad representation of the concert. I think, though, a better representation of Guess Who Reunion concert was from the year 2000 when they released Running Back Through Canada. This was also a single CD and a double CD, all live, and the band were performing really well for this tour through Canada. This is back in 2000. I don't think this was released on vinyl, although I could be wrong, but this is a better representation. But as I mentioned with the titling, in Canada, the single album, Together Again, the double album was called Reunion, but in the States it was called The Best of the Guess Who Live. So some different titling there. But again, from 1983, overall not bad, but not great. Better representation is the Guess Who Running Back Through Canada. Okay, we've got certainly albums from festivals, from weekend concerts. Some albums, again, are not great representation of those festivals. This one is pretty good. This is from 1978. This is California Jam 2. And this is a double album that features most of the artists that performed there, including Santana, Dave Mason, Hart, Ted Nugent. Also, Aerosmith performed. Jean-Michel Jarre performed at this festival. Also, from Canada, Frank Marino and Mahogany Rush, and Rubicon. So this is a double album, came out in 1978. The only two artists not featured on this that performed were Bob Welch and Foreigner. The reason they're not on the album is apparently because they weren't signed to Columbia or one of the affiliated labels, so they weren't featured on the double album. But yeah, it's kind of a nice snapshot in time. Good performances overall. Nice photos on the gatefold. But yeah, it came out on Columbia and California Jam 2. Okay, the Rolling Stones, the classic album Love You Live. The one side was recorded live at the El Mocambo in Toronto, an infamous concert. This is the band that opened up for them that night, talking about April Wine, and this is their album, of course, live at the El Mocambo. And Canada's April Wine, it's got, their hits, Tonight is a Wonderful Time to Fall in Love, also Ooh, What a Night, Drop Your Guns, Could Have Been a Lady. Nice rockin' April Wine album overall. I do love this little thing on the back here. To April Wine, thanks for helping us out this week, and the best of luck tonight. With love, the Rolling Stones. I don't know whether they actually did that, but it made for nice artwork on the album. And it's a single album, a nice gatefold. Interesting having all the lyrics included for a live album, which you don't often see. But yeah, generally nice artwork overall. April Wine, live at the El Mocambo. Okay, the classic Beatles live album. When first released, this was really the only Beatles live album that you could pick up. And we're talking about the Beatles live at the Hollywood Bowl. Featuring performances at the Hollywood Bowl 1964-1965. This album came out in 1977. And this is an original copy, purchased from 1977 that we picked up long ago. And inside, great packaging overall. And it features, Twist and Shout, She's a Woman, Dizzy Miss Lizzy, Ticket to Ride, Can't Buy Me Love, Hard Day's Night, Help, all the great early hits. And of course, with the fans screaming at full volume throughout the concerts. And yeah, just nice pictures of the memorabilia there. Even the sleeves, nice. Just captures, again, that moment in time. And even the labeling is great. This came out on Capitol. Just nice overall. And as I say, I've always loved the cover, and it's got the nice raised lettering there with the tickets there. As opposed to when they re-released this for the Ron Howard film that came out, both on vinyl and CD, this was the cover that they chose, which is not a great cover at all. And I think this is even a picture of the Beatles in Toronto, not at the Hollywood Bowl. So you got that as opposed to this cover. Like, come on, there's no contest there. But they do have bonus tracks on the CD, including Everybody's Trying to Be My Baby and Babies in Black. So it's nice that way, but not a great cover overall for that one. Okay, a Canadian band you may not be familiar with, talking about the band Saga. This is their first live album, In Transit. Saga was a band certainly that I'd seen many times in the late 70s, early 80s, performing in Stratford, even at my high school at the time. They were pretty huge through Europe, particularly in Germany, and this album was recorded in Munich, West Germany, and Copenhagen, Denmark. The band has since decided to call it quits. Apparently they are not touring anymore. Nice prog rock band, long tracks, a very keyboard synthesizer-based band, but also some great guitar work as well. And this one's during the Worlds Apart tour, so you've got On the Loose, also You're Not Alone, No Regrets, How Long from their first album, Wind 'Em Up, Humble Stance, and Don't Be Late. So it's got a lot of their great tracks. If it's a band you don't know much about, find out about this band, Saga, from Canada. Okay, Genesis Live, lots of Genesis Live stuff. Of course, this is Seconds Out from 1977. Peter Gabriel had left. Steve Hackett was in the process of leaving. Bill Bruford on drums, along with Chester Thompson for this tour. Full side with Suppers Ready. So this is a nice transition tour, sort of the middle years in the 1970s. You've also got The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, Musical Box, I Know What I Like, Phil Collins lead vocals. Double album, great photos inside. And was pleased to see that even on the sleeve, lots of photos sort of the crew and of the band. And inside we got some more stuff. Very nice. A great album overall. Really nice album. Genesis, Seconds Out. Okay, see what else we got here. We've got certainly Paul McCartney back in the news with his new album. This is Wings. And, of course, the 3-album set, Wings Over America. And I believe this is a Hypnosis cover, Hypnosis design cover. Just great. And as you can see, the sticker was just placed right on this album. Live 3-record set plus poster. And happy to see that picking this up, the poster is included. And it's a nice, huge one. Okay. I don't know if we'll be able to get it all in here. Wings Over America. And it's got all the early Wings Paul McCartney hits. As I said, 3-album set, which is pretty nice. And even nice sleeves that are generally this design for most of them. So overall, really good. Really nice album. You got, Let Me Roll It, Venus and Mars Rock Show, Maybe I'm Amazed. Also a few Beatles tunes like Lady Madonna, I've Just Seen a Face, Long and Winding Road, Blackbird Yesterday. But, 3-album set gives you lots of music on that one, which is really nice. And a few other things that I've been listening to that are recent releases. These are not on vinyl, but on CD. Chicago Live, they're calling this 6 Decades Live, This Is What We Do. And this features their complete performance at the Isle of Wight Festival from 1970. Not great audio on that, but as you're listening to that just as a piece, it's okay. But when you compare it to other recordings, the audio is just not not that great, not exactly high fidelity, but overall it's got performances right through to 2014, also a DVD of them live on German TV, but really nice packaging overall, and great, of course, enough early Chicago stuff. Yeah, nice packaging overall. And also currently listening to, it's not a complete live album, but lots of live tracks on here. This is the Tom Petty box set. This is the CD version, An American Treasure, and he absolutely was. And nice to see a nice hard spine on that. 4 CD set with lots of live tracks, and it's not just a best of. It's really kind of a nice deep dive, if you will, into Tom Petty. And listening to that too. Okay, well that's going to wrap it up for this one. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe too. Thanks. Bye-bye.